I got to a point where I was fully recording. Like I was kind of like at the halfway point when I was home, getting home. And I was just like, you know what? I don't feel like filming. Like there's too many issues. There's too many technical difficulties. I don't want to record anymore. Cut cameras. Don't want to record. Hi guys. I know for a fact you see this new haircut. I've been told I look like a little boy, so I don't know how to feel about that. But hi, hello, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, my name is Mariana. Thank you for clicking. Thank you for viewing this. Thank you for giving me a chance for us to become friends. And the ones who have already known me, who are not new to my channel, how have you been doing, bestie? I know I've been MIA, but I've been MIA because life, like always. It's always life. It's always life. I honestly haven't really been MIA just because I have been live streaming. So if you don't know, I do live stream both on TikTok and on Twitch. Let's just say TikTok has been more favorable with me than Twitch. Twitch is kind of like a ghost town, and I don't know how to fix that. So if anybody knows how to help me fix that, please let me know down in the comments below. But today, that's not the conversation we're talking about. Today, in our driveway diaries, dude, I have not said that in a very long time. You want to know why I've been absent? Is the fact that I have stories, but I don't know how to talk about these stories just because there's people I don't want to bring into it. There's names that I can't make up because I'm going to forget said names. And it's like, what am I supposed to do? And then also, sometimes I don't even know. I don't know if I need to charge these microphones. So there's times where you just see me like this, or you see awkward edits or clips or edits where I'm just like, it's kind of like an awkward transition. And also, I kept on, when I was editing my videos, I would keep on rambling and rambling for no, like, I'll probably like add them at the beginning before like my actual intro of welcoming you guys, but it's just donkey cheeks. Like, I'm just here like, why? I probably deleted them already, but I'm hoping they're still in my file just because I do find them funny, but it is what it is. So, let's get started, I guess. So, and these are actually like, basically, these are like three different story times, but they both accumulate to the fact that I've come to the realization that I am more of a homebody than than a party than a person who is out to go party, if that makes sense. But I do feel like I've been left out in certain situations, but at the same time I'm like, you know what, I don't think I'm missing out on anything. It looks like fun, but I don't think I'm missing out on anything currently. So I never really had the freedom to go out and explore. I guess the age you go to explore and have parties and do stuff. I never really had the experience just because my dear mama was just like, no, that's no, like, why do I want you causing havoc? Even though I never really caused havoc, but she was like, there's no point of you causing havoc, becoming a drug addict, an alcoholic addict. Like, there's no point of you doing none of that stuff. And honestly, my mom's right. Like, there's no point. Like, it may be recreational for other people. It may be like a whole boost of like enjoyment and parties, which is perfectly fine. Nobody's denying said people to do said things. But for me, like, it was never like a thing that was really peer pressured onto me. I did have people around my circle who did do drug and alcohol, but I was never pressured to the point where they would force it upon me. There were opportunities where they'd be like, hey, like, it's okay, like, if anything happens, we'll take care of you, which I'm very thankful, like, have friends like that. But never really indulged excessively just because it was never really my cup of tea. And till this day, it's never really my cup of tea. I did have an experience where I did drink moonshine, and honestly, I don't really recall what happened. But it was in the confines of my own home, so literally nothing happened. I just recall it the next day. Well, it really wasn't the next day. It was still the same day. But I had a huge a headache, and I was so severely nauseated. And ever since then, I literally don't drink. I've never had a drop of alcohol in my system. Like, it's just like I feel like I had my enjoyment in it, but I do not particularly partake into it on a daily basis or on a weekly basis or even on an occasional basis where like you go party and stuff. So yes, that's not my scene. But practically that's what I learned after the trips and that one time I drank moonshine in my own home. But this was before after I moved out from my mom's place. So honestly, it was all fair game. Anywho, but so this is particularly where I had three vacations. The first vacation was going to Savannah. The second vacation was going to Nashville, Tennessee, and then the last vacation was going to Myrtle Beach. Now, the trip I had to Savannah was actually pretty enlightening in my opinion, just because I've never been clubbing per se. Like if you're from Atlanta, Georgia, and you predominantly were around like I don't think it was at Duluth. I don't really remember the name of the streets or whatever. But if you're from like Gwinnett, Georgia, there was two predominantly clubs that were really open for mostly Hispanics per se in the aspect of like Hispanic culture and music, and it was Espacio and El Coliseo. There was other ones, but that was back when I was like a little tiny kid. But I went to these clubs. I won't say that I didn't enjoy them because I did. Like they were my first time experiences, but at the but the reasonings why I say I didn't like it is because predominantly most of my family members that I was aware that were there knew me, and it's like if I were to do something so far, like get blacked out drunk or kiss somebody or start doing or drugs like they would go snitch on my ass to my mom, and then I would get that lecture where my mom would be like, "Yeah, vive en cabeza ajena. Don't be doing dumb shit." Like that kind of lecture you get from like your parents. I don't know if every single person does or a typical Hispanic family does that, but my mom would do that. So like I was always in the headspace of, "Damn, I have relatives here. I can't because if I they're gonna go snitch on my ass to my dear mama." So literally, it was enjoyment, but at the same time, I felt like I had a cloud in my head, and I was always being watched. And honestly, the thing was also that in Espacio, there's a lot of creepy men. Like it was just a bunch of creepy old Hispanic guys that literally like they would ask you to go dance y estaban bien borrachos. Like they were all tumbling. They smell like pee, like beer. It was just so disgusting. So like, and I only went to Espacio two times. Now El Coliseo, I went I think two times or more, but I didn't really feel comfortable other than the fact that I had relatives that would go there. But it was more like I couldn't fit the aesthetic of how they dressed. And most of the time I would go, it was mostly like people would dress like cowboys and cowgirls. And honestly, like I didn't have that kind of dress wear. I literally like I didn't know how to dress to the occasion. And till this day, I don't know how to dress as a female just because I dress more athleisure than anything. Um, so yeah, that was like the whole thing. I enjoyed it, but I didn't have the acquired dress code for those occasions. And family snitches, let's be quite honest, especially the ones that don't like you. So that was my whole issue. And then eventually back to the whole thing of the trip to Savannah. So this trip to Savannah was actually like two parts. One part was that we were gonna go to Ibiza. That's another club in Gwinnett, Georgia, mostly in Duluth, I believe. That was my first time going to that club. Didn't feel comfortable. Did not hold the dress code because I felt like a nun the way I dressed. Like I was dressed in freaking black tights with black flats. And then I had like this satin dress that was long sleeved and it was hot in there. So it's like one, I was already in my head that, people from my school were there. And it's like I didn't know how to dance just because one, my brother was there and so were my cousins. So that was like the first trip. Um, but it was fun. Like I liked the music that was played. I just didn't know how to maneuver myself, and it was kind of awkward just because I've never really gone out with my one of my brothers like that, and I never gone out like that with cousins either. So it was kind of like I don't know, like it was just kind of weird. So the second part to Savannah was that we eventually, well, I didn't drive, but in one vehicle it was myself, an ex partner, my cousin, and my brother, and we drove to Savannah because we because the whole thing was that we also had another cousin with his wife, but they were gonna come separately in a different vehicle. So we get to Savannah, like we're waiting for a hotel room. We go eat. There's a bunch of creepy men that are trying to get my number and whatnot. Like, and I'm trying to visualize what am I gonna wear to said club that we're going to. Which besides, I don't even remember what club we went to. I just know that we probably stayed until they closed. That's all I remember. And then I remember that we were walking back in a cobbly stone, and I almost fell a couple of times, but I was wearing flat shoes. I don't know, it was kind of weird. Like, I'll post a picture of me with whatever. I think I was wearing a black blouse with jeans and black flats that look like Mary Jane's, but they were actually the dupes on Amazon. And honestly, I enjoyed that night so much. I don't remember what we did. I drank. I think they're called Dirty Shirley Temples. Those were nice. We had a lot of bucana with your pineapple and your cranberry juice. Like it was just a lot of fun. I'm not gonna deny it. And then we went back home. Like that was my first taste of going out and partying and drinking. If you want me to be quite honest, outside of like people that I'm aware of that know me, that could stitch to my mom about me. Like it was that kind of atmosphere where like you can let loose and enjoy it and not feel some kind of way. Like that's how it felt. I liked it. I bonded. Like it was just a lot of fun in my opinion. Would I do it again? Yes. Okay, so now my second trip was we went to Nashville, Tennessee. This was my actual first time traveling outside of Georgia without my mom, my sister, and my oldest brother with his family. That was my first time. I had traveled with my second oldest brother to Nashville, Tennessee. We were going with a bunch of cousins that had gone with us to Savannah, and then some friends from Tennessee were gonna come over. So the thing was that I already felt kind of uneasy just because I'm not really good with meshing with new people, especially if they're way older than me. Granted, they were all nice. They were all nice. They were all sweet. Like there was, I think, only two girls that were kind of around my age, but I really didn't know how to socialize. Like I'm just an awkward person, and honestly, like I just didn't know what to do. So we're traveling. We get to Tennessee. We eat. We start sightseeing, doing stuff. We eventually get to like this club that is like at the end of the pier, I guess, and we go. I think we went walking. We went walking, and we already started drinking. We were playing games. It was like almost like a country style Dave and Buster's. It was really fun. They were riding bulls. Like, if I find a way how to blur their faces, I will, and I'll post it somewhere. But it was so much fun, like that first time. And eventually, like I guess the people who already lived in Tennessee were about to arrive to the Airbnb, and the Airbnb was about to be like I think it was ready for us to go in by like 3:30 or 4, and we get our and then we head to the Airbnb. People are already cooking. One is making aguachiles. One is preparing like Jello shots, or either they were already prepared or they were getting prepared. Others were getting ready, like to just start getting ready. Myself, my brother, and one of our cousins, we go to Walmart because I guess we were missing some kind of supplies or whatnot. And eventually we come back, we start getting a little bit more lit. Well, not me, most of the people that are there, just because I'm still trying to maneuver myself and trying to figure out what is going to happen. And Yeah, like it was just kind of like a bunch of maneuvering myself to feel included in the whole thing, I guess. Which they literally made me feel included, but I was just kind of weirded out and I didn't know how to include myself being included. That's how it was. So that happens. The night's about to start. We're finally actually getting ready to go clubbing. I think that first night we went, I think, to a couple of bars because we weren't gonna like stick to one area. We just started bar hopping. I don't know if we started drinking already. We probably did. I'm not too sure because I remember that we went in Ubers to Nashville because it wasn't that far. It was like I think less than a 10-minute drive. um we get into the Ubers, and honestly that was like my first time getting in Ubers. I know, like at the ripe age of whatever 20-year-old me, 21, 22, 23-year-old me, first time getting on Ubers. But we get there, it's already crowded. You see walkways, well, yeah, walkways, you see like the sidewalks filled with people. Like you see people that are like the bachelorettes, the frat parties, the um like people that are coming out from state just to come over here and enjoy yourself. Like it was so much fun, to be quite honest. I just remember that I don't really remember which bars we hopped. I just know that we eventually settled into one bar that was 2 stories high. We were mostly in the second story, and that's when the shots start like kicking in. Like it's just tequila shots, left to right, left to right. And I think that at that point, that's when this whole thing started to see like who was throwing up in our trips. I never threw up in our trip, even though like I was never really like a connoisseur in alcohol. I think I myself and some other people never threw up. We just didn't throw up, which is weird because, like I said, I would have thought that I would have been the first one to throw up because all the alcohol we're consuming. But we were drinking tequilas left and right. Eventually, it was Bucana, back with the cranberry juice and the pineapple juice. Then the Dirty Shirley Temples, and then I don't remember what the other one was that I tried. It was yummy sour something. I don't really remember, but those were good. But since we were at that one bar, eventually I think we finished the tequila, or one of the people in our group literally got drunk that they were like, "Hey, you guys need to go." I don't know which one came first or which one came second, but it was somewhere there. We had to leave. I had to ask. I don't know who had to ask, but I remember that we got a trash bag because we well I was more afraid, but I don't really know who's the one who asked for it. But we were afraid that the person who was really drunk was gonna end up throwing up wherever we were going or in the Uber. So at that point, once I saw that person drunk and the fact that we had to like literally carry him, like you see like two people like carrying him from like shoulder to shoulder, and I'm over here holding his pants because I was so scared. I was like, oh no, like some one of us got stupid drunk. We need to be more careful. I had sobered up like this. I sobered up so quickly because at this point I was, I guess, in mom mode, and I'm just here like, oh no, because his partner was also like, I think she was drunk as well, hella drunk, but she was still able to walk, but she was having a panic attack. And at that point, I'm just here like holding his partner's hand, hoping she don't fall and she don't swerve. And I'm over all here holding my the person's pants because you can see his booty crack. And I'm just here like, well, what the we were all having the fun time of our life, but then all of a sudden this got flipped topsy turvy. I'm sobered up. Most of our group isn't even sobered up, and I'm just here like, oh my god. Like I wasn't trying to ruin anybody's fun, but at that point I didn't really find anything funny. I just found everything like, I don't know, like I sobered up really quick. Eventually, we get into our Uber. I don't sit because I am terrified that this person's gonna choke. So I'm over here holding the trash bag like over his like here. in case he does throw up, because he was already like doing like the gagging reflex, and I was just here like, oh no, I can't do this. This is too much for me. Like I can't handle this. It was, to me, it was just so weird. Eventually, we get to our Airbnb, and they take him to his room. They take his partner to his room, and they're knocked out. I don't know if anybody kept on checking on them just in case, if anything were to happen. But yeah, and then eventually, I, I guess I wasn't giving the vibe that was needed for the group. But eventually, another person from our group, she was drunk. But I think she was a little bit sober. She was basic. I don't really remember what she had stated, but I do remember her saying something like that if you can't vibe with us, then don't come with us. If you're gonna be the party pooper, then you're not welcome into like our little group. We don't want you here. Da da da. This, like, basically, like, stop being a party pooper. And I took it seriously. I was just here like, you know what? I'm not really here to argue. I'm not really here to start shit. I just went into like the room that uh we were assigned, well, not assigned, the rooms that we picked, and I was sleeping in that room with her. And I don't know, like, I just didn't really fuck after that, but I was like, you know what? Maybe she's right. Maybe I'm the one who's fucking vibe. But it's because at the end of the day, I've never really experienced that. I didn't know how to handle it. I was terrified for the person. I was terrified for the person's partner. Because I watch a lot of movies. I watch a lot of documentaries, and if you end up throwing up and choking because of the whole alcohol intake, you can also get alcohol poisoning. And I was just so terrified. I was like, oh no, I can't do this. I can't handle this. Like, this is really scary. Like, I don't know what to do. Like, oh, how am I supposed to handle this? So in the second night, I think we continued going bar hopping. Like, I think eventually we went to Honky Tonk. Yeah, we went to the Honky Tonky. I felt vibe, but it was just so packed. Like, I just didn't understand how packed it was, but it was fun. Don't get me wrong. It was really fun. Um, I love the aesthetic of how the females dressed. Like, they dressed to impress. Like, it was just so pretty. It was so gorgeous. I don't know. Like, the girls were just so pretty. Like, honestly, I envy all of them. Like, they were just so dressed so pretty. There was a lot of bachelorettes. Like, now that I think about it, does like every like bachelorette go to Nashville, Tennessee for like events like that? I think we went bar hopping even more. There was one bar that I so much beside the honky tonky. But I don't remember what it was called. Like, literally, you go in and there's a girl singing in the first floor, and then you go to the second floor. It's a little bit more punk country, and then you go to the top floor and it's more punk. Like, it was just so much fun. Like, I think there was one bar where it's 3 floors. Like, the first floor, I think, is like, I don't remember if it's like bachata or something. Like, the first floor. The second floor is more like EDM, and then the third floor, I think it's more like punk rock. I didn't go to the second or third floor just because the majority of our group was down, and like I said, I was sober. I really wasn't vibe at that point, but that was my fault. It wasn't the group. So, and that's when I overheard that one of the people in our group, she actually fell down the stairs and scraped herself, and she had like this tube of liquor or something. I don't really remember, but that's what had happened. We continued bar hopping, and I don't really remember if it was this night or the following night, but I think this night we had gone to a Hispanic nightclub. But here's the thing. I don't know who chose the first nightclub to go to, but the nightclub didn't even exist. Literally, like, we got sent to the middle of nowhere. Like, we didn't know where to go. Like, literally, it was a bunch of like warehouse buildings, and then a land of nothingness, literally. And we all got scared that we eventually told the Uber if they could drop us off somewhere else, and they dropped us off like at a Popeyes. And I was so scared because it looked so sketchy. There was people walking around, they were peeing. It was just so weird. Eventually, I don't know who else looked for another club, and we went to that club. Now in that club, we picked I guess a section, a VIP section. We were in the very front, in the very entrance, and basically, dude, I think this night I was such a Demi Downer. I think that's what you call it, but it's because I couldn't enjoy myself just because the partner that I was with at that time wasn't there, and I couldn't enjoy myself. I couldn't go out to dance. I was also already engaged. Um, I was posting moody ass pictures of like, I wish you were here. Like, I can't believe I did that, but I did. And like, I that was my own fault. That was my own downfall. I will admit it. But eventually, I don't know what had happened. We started having fun. I started having fun again. Everybody was already having fun. I was just a Demi Downer of my own little world, even though it was just an epic fun or whatever. The drinks kept on coming. It was bucana, the pineapple, tequila, the cranberry, some other drinks. Eventually, the thing was that with this group, we stay until everything closes. So we stayed until that club closed, and there was an after party. And I've never been to an after party, so most of the people in our group are already drunk, but they want to go to the after party. I just want to go home. I'm just like, I'm tired. Like, I have a bedtime, my guy. Go to this after party. It's sketchy. You have to pay an entrance fee. I didn't have money, but my brother paid for me. Um, and we go in. People. This is the first time. Like, I don't know if I can say this on YouTube, but we were at this after party and people were doing DRUG. You see people grinding on people. You see alcohol, and in the corner of my eye, this was the first time I saw an exchange of DRUG. That was my first time. I saw, like, the little packet and stuff. And I'm just here like, oh, we can't be here. We could die, my guy. I was so terrified for my life that literally, like, I had to turn the other way and pretend like I didn't see the exchange. And till this day, I'm just like, I just saw that. Okay, let's move on with my day. I think eventually we left because we thought that the whole after party, like, literally was stupid, and people were just smoking left and right. And honestly, I don't like smokers. It's not that I don't like them. I don't like the stench of smoking. If you smoke, you know, good for you, but just don't smoke around me. Like, I just don't like that vibe. And we just left. We got into Uber. Next thing you know, you see cops. While we're leaving, we see cops going, and you just see people like spreading out. So that happened. The third night, I think that's when we had gone to Cracker Barrel, and we were just like, we gotta go, we gotta go. Um, that was my Nashville, Tennessee. That was my Nashville trip. Would I do it again? Yes. Do I regret how I was on such a Demi Downer and whatnot, and how I sobered up quick and felt like, because I'm taken, my life is doomed. I can't have fun. I would have literally been like, you know what? Have fun. Just don't do fun. But go dance by yourself. Go dance with friends. Go dance with the people that came with you. Enjoy yourself, because next time you probably won't be able to enjoy yourself. I wish I could have drank more. I wish, like, I could have experienced more. I wish I could have just had more fun and just had let go the fact that my ex partner couldn't be there. I think that was the whole thing, was that I was just such in the dumps that the person wasn't there. But at the end of the day, it didn't really serve any purpose to be so negative in that kind of concept. So I think I would redo it again and not be negative and just enjoy the vibe. So that was that trip. Now, the third trip that I had, it also include drinking and going out whenever, was going to Myrtle Beach, and it was with the same group of people. So we go to Myrtle Beach. This time, we get another Airbnb near the beach. It's like 5 minutes away. Um, people bring drinks. Like literally, once we got to like the Myrtle Beach area, we couldn't go to the Airbnb because it wasn't check-in time. We go to the local store. We start buying liquor, beer, like stuff we're gonna eat if we're there, like the carne asada, los limones, la cebolla, like soda as well. Like we're napkins, paper. We're getting the necessities and the essentials that we would need over there at the Airbnb, and then eventually, like it's time for us to go check in. We go. I don't remember if we prepped anything, but I do remember that people were getting ready to go to the beach and everybody was getting dressed. And at this point, I felt so excited because I was literally in that whole phase of cutting. Like I was cutting my calories. I was on a calorie deficit, and I felt my best. I felt like my booty was perfect. I felt like I had lost a bunch of fat. I felt like I looked nice. I had purchased cute swimsuits on Timu. I think it was Timu, or I don't know which app. I had bought swimsuits, some shorts. Like I felt cute as. I was like, you know what? Whatever had happened in Nashville, where I was such a demi downer, I was like, I'm not gonna let this myself at the beach. It was all that whole era where like Karol G had one of her songs where it just made you feel like it was summer. Like I'll post it, whatever. And yeah, like I was just feeling myself and whatnot. And I was gonna be like, you know what, I'm gonna enjoy this trip, whether it be my last trip in my life. And it was my last trip. I mean, we'll be quite honest. Currently was my last trip like that with that group. So we get ready, we take our drinks, we take the liquor, we go to the beach, we're having so much fun, we're taking pictures. It's the same group that I went to Tennessee with. I felt a bit more comfortable just because I know how they are and whatnot. And then eventually we come back home. They're making carne asada. um I start moping in my room. I'm tired. They start drinking. I eat a little bit. I go to sleep. Next day, we start doing activities. We go out. I think we went out to get souvenirs. Eventually, we were debating whether if we wanted to go. I think we went to the wax museum that day, and then we also had gotten to the wax museum had like a it had two sections, like it was a wax museum, and then it was a haunted house, and then there was like this area where it was like kind of like a maze kind of thing. And we went to all three. It was so much fun. um and then I don't what did we do next. I don't Oh, the last thing we had done was that we wanted to go clubbing. This is a clubbing group, my guys. We wanted to go clubbing. We found this restaurant that later turned into a bar and a club and whatnot. And we were the only ones there. We were the only ones there partying and whatnot. We were having so much fun. We didn't need to like ask for a VIP table just because it was just us partying. Like we were the life of the party. We were enjoying ourselves. Um, so that was the first night. Or was it the second? No, that was the second day. The third day, we did the same thing. We went to the beach. We enjoyed ourselves. This was when we had to decide whether or not if we wanted to go jet skiing. But the thing was that the first option we had gone to was that we wanted to go jet skiing, but we couldn't get on the jet ski. We were literally just on a boat and you could touch dolphins. And at the end of the day, I was like, there's no point. If I want to go see dolphins, then I would go to the aquarium. And people were like, you're right, you're right. I'm like, you might not know because we were past this bridge and you would see people jet ski, and it wasn't the location we had gone to. So from there, we were like, okay, we kept on looking around, cruising around. I think we went to go eat. We were looking for more souvenirs. We were enjoying ourselves. Eventually, we were pointed to the place where we would see the jet skis under the bridge, and we went there. We went to go jet skiing, and I lost my sunglasses. It was fun. I actually, literally, like, we were there. I wasn't the one driving. The one who was driving was my brother. And I don't know what had happened, but we kind of like toppled over and whatnot. And yeah, I lost my glasses. I got into the lake or river, whatever it was, and it was hunky dory. It was a lot of fun. We eventually came back. We went to the beach again because it was technically our last night. So we go to the back to the beach. We're enjoying ourselves. We're eating. We're like enjoying the vibes, and then we come back home and we're like, okay, we're gonna start getting ready because this is our technically our last night to go out and party. And literally the vibes are chill. Like I'm having so much fun. I'm taking pictures. This is the point where I think I had started recording because I had wanted to upload it to YouTube. I still have the video here saved. Like I have not deleted it. Like if you guys want to, like I'll put a snippet somewhere or I'll like put it into this video. So that had happened. We start getting ready. I'm looking my best. I'm wearing my best clothes. I feel like at this point, that trip, I knew what I was gonna wear specifically for which occasion. That time, I had so much fun. I was drinking, and this time we did actually have to get a VIP booth, and we had gotten in the second floor because the owners had remembered us from the previous day. And the thing was that that day the club was full. Like the restaurant was full. It was like you were with the vibes. It was a bunch of like. It was during the time also where like Bad Bunny had his whole like album. I forgot what it was called. It was so much fun. We were drinking. It was like I just enjoyed it so much that to the point where like I was dancing so much. But the thing was that there was points where like strangers would pull me to dance and I wouldn't because I was just here like one, I'm taken, two, I'm gonna respect my ex partner during that time, and I'm here to have fun by myself. I'm not here to like mingle and have fun with other people. Like I was just like that's I don't really want that. So it was so much fun. Eventually, like the club ends, and people are coming out. Literally, our group, people were coming to our group asking for like our information to see like if we were famous or whatnot, and like people in our group started networking with people, and eventually like that night ended, and coming back home. And the thing was that with all these three trips, when I would come back home, I would have like this like release of so much sadness just because I didn't want to come back to the reality of whatever I was living at that time. Those were my three trips. Those were like my realizations that I did enjoy it, but at the same time, I'm much more of a home kind of person. Like, I enjoy the kerfuffle. I enjoy the whole big thing of drinking and whatnot. At that time, no, not really. Um, Now I don't really like being close to people because you don't know what people be contracting. Some people are gross and nasty. Don't wash their hands. But yeah, guys, that's all I have for you guys for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I love you guys so much. Thank you for growing this community, whether you're from TikTok, Twitch, Instagram, and of course from here YouTube as well. My God, thank you guys so much. Like I know I sound like a broken record, but with this community that has been growing with me, that has been watching me do countless and you guys find it funny or enjoyment or just make your day, like I am so grateful for you guys. You guys are seeing me grow. We're growing together. We're getting to know each other. We're getting to have this kind of mutual understanding that we've been best friends forever and there's no changing it. So yeah. Anyways, I hope you guys have a nice weekend. I hope to upload this Friday night or Saturday morning, either or way. But please be careful, guys. There's a bunch of weirdos out here, like especially if you're a female. Please be careful. Even men, please be careful. But just in general, like watch out. Take care of your loved ones. If you're going out, watch out for your surroundings. Watch out with the people that you're with, and try to get home at a reasonable time. And, I love you guys so much. Please take care, and I can't wait to see you guys on the next Driveway Diaries.